What's up, everybody? This is Fitty.
And I'm Izzy.
And this is How We Talk
Podcast. Yeah, I got it back, baby.
It back, dude. It sounds good when you say it like that.
Yeah.
Now it does, right? After
Yeah.
60 episodes.
After 60 episodes, yeah, it does. Sounds cool. It flows.
All right, and introduce our guest.
Today we have Sean from Beat the Count.
Thank you for having me.
I'm not gonna. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming, man. I'm not gonna say your last name because I heard you say it earlier.
Well, isn't that right? Didn't I say it right? Because remember I butchered the other one?
No, you didn't even say his last name.
Fitzgerald, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You got it.
Fitzgerald. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Typical
this guy-
Irish name,
Yeah.
Sean Fitzgerald. You know?
Is that what you are? You're Irish?
Oh, my father is.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah. This guy's the butcher of names here.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
It's all right. But that's, you know what? That's how we talk.
That's how we talk. That's how we talk. What's up, dude? How you been?
I've been well, man.
For those of you who don't know, even me, because I've never met you until today.
Yeah.
But I said earlier, I'm going to put a face to the name because it's always like, oh, there's Sean from Beat the Count when we go live and stuff on Instagram. And it's just your little, it's a BC, right?
Yeah, it's a logo, BC.
The logo is BC. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, Sean? You know, when are you going to come on, this and that? But now, very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
He finally came out too because we kept telling him, "Hey man, come out and do the show."
I wasn't sure if it was real or not. I thought you guys were just being friendly.
No,
I really want. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
we need a boxing expert out here since.
And then I saw you guys recording a podcast yesterday, and I was like, oh, I got bumped. I'm out. I was like, I'm out.
No.
That's what we do, man. We're working,
Yeah.
dude.
I know you guys are crazy.
We have a whole bunch in the can.
Yeah. That's what we try to do. You know, we try to stay busy, but and at the same time, we try to get some in the can just to hold, have on hold. But we've had the boxer on, we've had the trainer on. Now we want to get the expert analysis.
You're gonna offend some people by saying that, by the way. Some people about to get mad.
They're like,
Oh,
what,
shoot.
Sean, expert? Wait, what's with the Chris? Because there's maybe I'm making
pseudonym.
A
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Because sometimes I hear, it's Chris, and then they go, no, it's Sean, and then you said it's Sean, and then
Yeah, it's funny because if you watch the show, I introduce myself as Chris every episode.
right.
So what happened was my whole life I was Chris. My father's name is John. My brother's name is John. My name was Sean. And so they called us all by our middle names.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother went by his middle name, which is Nicholas or Nick. My middle name is Christopher. I went by Chris. So my whole family called me Chris. And it wasn't up until I joined the workforce and started filling out my own paperwork and stuff like that I was writing my full name and people started to call me Sean.
Yeah.
And so as I got older and was in my 20s, most people who I met after that age called me Sean.
Yeah.
My boxing coach, though, Coach Marco, who does the show with me a bunch, he met me when I was younger.
Yeah.
So he called me Chris. Yeah, he calls me Chris. So when we started doing the show, we're just talking, just rapping back and forth like you and I are right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's always calling me Chris. So I have to go by Chris on the show because that's how he knows me.
Yeah.
But in life, at this point as an adult, I normally go by Sean.
Yeah.
So it just depends on when you met me.
Yeah. That's funny how it
that's
works,
good.
Carl, because I started off as Fidel when I was, my birth name,
Yeah.
and then it went to Fiddy,
Yeah.
and then I got into the workforce, and then it changed to Fidel again,
Yeah.
Fidel or Fidel.
The adult.
Yeah.
The
And then
adult,
Now I got a
Yeah.
podcast, and then
Fitty.
Fiddy.
You're Fitty.
You're-
Yeah, see? It's the adult version of my name.
Yeah.
This is me as a grown man.
Cool. That's
Did
cool.
you like your names growing up? I mean, they're pretty.
It's funny that you asked that because when I started going by Sean, which was really by accident,
Yeah.
right? Because I was just filling out paperwork
Yeah.
and that's how I filled things out,
Yeah.
right? When I started going by Sean, my sister was like, what, you don't like your name? You don't like what we called you growing up and stuff like that? But it's not like that.
Yeah.
I don't really have a preference one way or another.
Yeah.
They're both me.
Yeah.
You know?
Sean,
Yeah,
Sean is
true.
Sean. Chris is
See, like
Chris.
me,
Yeah.
Israel, I hated my name growing
Did you
up.
really?
I hated
Why?
my name. I don't know.
Very biblical.
That's probably why.
That's probably why, yeah.
That's probably why. And then even Izzy, I think we do it here because it just flows. Fitty and Izzy.
Fitty and Izzy,
But
yeah.
I never go by Izzy, but it's rare that people call me Izzy.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel little. You're making me feel little.
Like a child.
Like a child.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
But,
man.
It's
but
like
no,
You've been hurting his feelings for like 65 episodes.
For 65 episodes,
Yeah.
this guy. No, but you know what? It flows and it just kind of just rolls off the tongue. Fitty and Izzy,
Yeah.
But Israel, it's what,
But
that's
do you
what I
ever
go by
introduce yourself as Izzy?
now. Nah, never.
No, me neither.
No.
I mean, I'll never say, my name's Fitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy.
There's only like one guy who could do that, I
There's a
think.
guy I met recently.
50 Cent.
That guy took my name. I was Fitty way before.
You had it
Fitty.
before?
I was Fitty before Fitty.
There's a guy that I met recently, and his name's Israel, but he goes by Izzy. As a
Yeah.
grown man, he goes by Izzy.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, cool, it works for him.
Okay.
But Yeah, Israel.
Anyways, well,
Israel.
that covers the name.
Yeah, that
part
covers
of
the
show.
confusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies for the confusion. I get it all the time.
Yeah.
I have guests who I meet. Dutchover, actually. You guys had Michael Dutchover on the show?
Right, correct, yeah.
So Michael Dutchover's been on the show twice. And Ruben Torres, who's his stablemate, has also been on the show. And they actually were like, had an argument about what my name was. So they're like, his name's Sean. He's like, no, it's Chris, man. It's Chris. And so they actually pulled me aside and asked me like, hey, is your name Sean? And I had to explain the whole thing. So I have to explain it all the time.
That's funny. Hey, not anymore, because now you have it.
Yeah, now it's here.
How
we talk.
Yeah. This is where it got settled. So cool.
So, anyways, like I said, now we got the name thing covered. We're probably the only ones that made a big thing about it on the actual show. Huh?
Probably. I don't know.
People ask me all the time.
Anyways,
That's funny.
So how did it all start to Beat the Count? Let's just get into it.
Beat the Count podcast started in February of last year. And I think we've done, like I said, you guys are my big brother. You've done like 65. I've done like 55.
Yeah.
So I'm already taking notes and stealing some things from you that I've seen here today.
Take them.
Even that opening, the opening. I need a better opening. I realize that. No, but so, I'll take it back to Mayweather McGregor. Did you guys check that out?
Mm-hmm.
So Mayweather McGregor in the post-fight press conference, or not press conference, but the post-fight analysis was performed by Stephen A. Smith and Teddy Atlas. Like you're in sports, you know Stephen A. Smith, right? And if you watch,
get off the weed, right? Okay, go ahead.
So Teddy Atlas is also a character, a boxing figure, but very excitable individual, and it could be highly entertaining sometimes. But anyways, they were having a conversation post Mayweather McGregor about how successful McGregor was in that fight, and it got very excitable, and both guys were yelling at each other. And they were just on some nonsense. I'm not going to lie. They were just talking some nonsense. They were talking about being short order cooks versus gourmet cooks and flipping burgers and doing it. You guys, you could find it on YouTube. Watch them arguing about it because it's comical. Yeah. And I actually texted Coach and said, yo, Coach, if these guys can talk about boxing, then so can we. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he was like, let's do a podcast. Let's do it. We'll do it from the gym. That's nice. And we went and we tried it the first evening, and he had different ideas than I did. I was thinking we're just going to record some audio and post it on iTunes and stuff like that. And I got there that evening, and he's like, no, we're going to go live on YouTube. Yeah. We're going to do it live. Yeah. Right. And I didn't know how to do that. I never even used YouTube at the time. Yeah. I'm kind of behind the times with the social media stuff, to be honest. I'm not very good at it.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I had a guest a few weeks ago who had to show me how to post a story on Instagram because I didn't know how to do it. So she showed me what was up. So shout out to Right Hook Roxy who showed me how to post a story on Instagram. But yeah, so I spent hours just going through tutorials that evening, trying to figure out how you go live on YouTube using a DSLR camera, because that's all we had at the time. I didn't have a webcam. We literally had a camera, not even a camcorder.
Right.
And we figured it out. If you guys check out the first episode of Beat the Count, it's comical. Yeah. It's like the video is like this big in a giant black box and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And but we did it. We went live, and we went live at like 9 p.m. or something, because we struggled so much to get it going. And then we've just tried to, gradually improve it over time. But that's kind of the gist of it, Yeah,
that's cool, because that's kind of like how we did it. Hey, let's just... I was going to do the interviews, and then with my family and friends, and then he's like, let's just do a podcast, because he was just going to help me out with it.
We sat in here. Yeah. This is weird, because we barely tell this story on air. But,
no, I think we say it a lot. Do we? I think so. I was going to say, do we keep beating this shit like a dead horse?
You were being nosy, right?
See,
I know.
You can't say that anymore, man.
What?
You can't say that anymore.
That's right. We can't say that anymore.
Peter got on him. No, just kidding. No, but long story short, we sat in here for a few hours, and we actually recorded our conversation. Like, hey, let's we were brainstorming all these, let's get this thing going. If we're gonna do it, let's try to do it at least somewhat right. And maybe we got it right, maybe we don't, but it works for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Trial and error. That's
a lot of error.
Yeah, a lot of error. More error than
for
trial,
me.
But
I don't know about you guys.
No.
Plenty
we've had
error.
many. Definitely. We've had many. If you look at, we've had a couple episodes where we just lost video, and luckily our audio was good.
Yeah,
but we've lost.
So we could still post it to
with just a blank screen or
I
whatever.
lost one of my most important episodes. I still haven't recovered it. I'm still
really?
working on it. Episode 21. Beat the count. You'll find it missing.
Wow.
Suspiciously absent from the YouTube
Secret
channel.
number
I haven't checked that out.
21.
Yeah, man.
It goes from 20 to 22. What happened to 21?
Yeah, we go straight to 22.
Yeah, but that's all it is, man. Trial and error. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try to tell my kid, I coach my kid's baseball team, and I try to tell him that you're going to fail more than you're going to succeed. That's the way that you get better. And then I tell him a perfect example is, these baseball players, a good hitter is hitting 300.
Yeah.
That's a good hitter.
Yeah.
That means he only hit 3 out of 10. You know what I mean? And that's a good hitter.
Yeah.
So I tell you, you're going to fail more than you succeed.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with anything, really, but specifically right here with podcasting.
You just have to be okay with it.
We have to, dude. We got to just keep grinding until you get it right.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like, you changed your studio how many times, right? Like
15 times. Yeah,
right,
at least. At least. I've changed it so many times.
Right.
I'm going to change it again. I can already tell you that there's things I don't like about the setup.
Yeah.
I'll change it again for sure. I feel like every 3-4 episodes I change something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it messes stuff up. I'm not going to lie. Like sometimes because like I may change technologies or devices or things like that, hardware that goes into it. Like very recently I changed a piece of hardware that I use, but I'm coming into it not knowing how it's going to work exactly. And sometimes it'll mess up the show because, something won't work the way I expect it to work,
Right.
So, and it all comes from a place of me trying to improve.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a step back. It's sometimes it's so discouraging.
As long as you take those 2 steps forward,
Yeah.
1 step back, 2 steps forward. But yeah, that's how it is, though.
Yeah.
With anything.
Yeah. How did you get into boxing as what you do for?
Funny. I mean, boxing is always been an interest of mine. I wanted to box actually as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
My parents weren't especially supportive of me doing physical sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a point in time where I wanted to play football, and it was kind of like, nah, you can't play football. That's not safe for you. They did when I was a freshman in high school, I wrestled, and they were cool with that. But like boxing, football, and heavy contact things, I'm not sure if they just consider me too small for it. I know that my father, when he was in high school, was like an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And probably had a very different build than I did. My brother is just a larger man than me. Like, he's just naturally kind of a wide individual. And so they weren't especially supportive of it. So I didn't actually start boxing until I was, maybe 18 when I moved out and I was on my own and was like, all right, I'm going to go and try this.
Yeah.
So it had always been an interest of mine. My uncle is actually a ring announcer, and he does some of the local shows here for like All-Star Boxing and stuff like that. His name is Jim Fitzgerald. He did public address for the Los Angeles Lakers for a couple years when Lawrence Tanner retired, like back in the
Yeah.
just for a few years before he came back.
Right on.
And so I had always been around it. He worked at Forum Boxing. So I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, they used to sell tickets, like season tickets, to the Forum, where you can go almost like a basketball game. And you could go every Tuesday or whatever it is and watch boxing at the fabulous Forum.
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle did the ring announcing for that. So I've been around it for a really long time. I didn't get super into it until about 2002. So in 2002, I checked out my first pay-per-view, which was Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. I think that was June of 2002.
Yeah.
And that's it was a big crossover event. There was like promotional and network entities that all had to cross over to make that fight happen. And I remember checking that out as like the first pay-per-view and thinking, oh, okay, like this is cool. I like this a lot.
Yeah. And
then just a few months later, like in September, Roy Jones Jr. fought this cat, Clinton Woods, I think his name was. You guys are going to have to fact check me on this, but I think his name is Clinton Woods, in September of that year. And if you guys have never seen this, Roy Jones Jr. straight up raps his way out to the ring, like does a whole performance, like a concert. He does a concert walking himself out to the ring. He's mic'd up, has his whole ring gear on. I'm in high school. I'm way into hip hop culture at the time. You know what I mean? Like I wore the baggy clothes.
B-Rabbit.
Yeah, like exactly, right? Like Eminem was where it was at back in the day when I was in high school and stuff. I love Tupac and all these hip hop acts.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd seen a bunch of live concert of great hip hop acts, West Side Connection, all these guys. I was so into it. So I just kind of found boxing again. And then I see this cat who's like larger than life in his prime, this athletic specimen who is literally so confident in his ability that he can put on a concert on his way out to the ring.
Yeah.
And he beat that dude in like 7 rounds and just whipped him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Roy Jones Jr. kind of made me go from being interested in boxing to like falling in love with boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after that, I was watching Roy Jones Jr. and to be honest, it wasn't very long until Roy kind of took a turn down.
Right. Yeah.
So like after that fight, he went and he fought John Ruiz. He won the heavyweight championship, which is it's actually huge for a cat who started his career at middleweight. Yeah. Like he started his career at 160 pounds. He was like, Canelo size, and he won the heavyweight championship of the world. Wow. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like,
and John Ruiz is no small heavyweight. He's a big heavyweight.
Yeah. So like you look at imagine somebody that size going up and winning. So it's a big deal. And after that was kind of what's considered sort of the latter part of Roy's career, where he fought a majority decision win over Antonio Tarver, which is like the 3rd pay-per-view I think I ever purchased. And then he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. Then he got knocked out by Glenn Johnson, and he kind of went 50-50 for the rest of his career, but it was Roy that did it.
Yeah. Got you in there.
Yeah. It was Roy that really got me, that sunk me. Yeah.
So when you say you did some training in the ring, so you were at the same gym, Sweet Science, where you do your podcast from?
Yeah.
You've always been there. That's the gym?
That's the only boxing gym I've ever worked out of. Yeah. So when I first started, I did it like I was a greenhorn. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And boxing gyms are kind of intimidating. Or I think stepping into any martial art cold just as
any
an 18.
Gym. Any gym. Because sometimes I go to 24-hour fitness and I'm like, hold on.
Gym?
Yeah.
True.
But like, I'm 18 years old stepping into a boxing gym for the first time in my life. So like, I'm not very confident and stuff like that. So it was intimidating. So I did the next best thing. I went and took it at a local community college. I took boxing at a community college in Torrance.
Got to learn the fundamentals.
Yeah, El Camino College. Yeah. Under the tutelage of Mitzi Yamashita. So, and Jeffrey Nakamura. So I went out and these cats were teaching me how to box. And I took that for like as much as I could. I took it like 3 semesters or something, and then was like auditing the class after that. Like I was just going, but I wasn't enrolled. Yeah. And so like after that, I was like, all right, I think I'm good at this. I'm gonna go and check out the boxing gym. So I went to Sweet Science. That's where I found Coach, and he had just opened that gym back then. Yeah.
And he's young, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit older than me. He's like 10 years older than me. Something like
Where's that gym at?
In Hawthorne.
Oh, okay.
Hawthorne, California. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so I started training there with Coach off and on, but I started late. You look at these guys who are great. I mean, they started when they were kids. Yeah. Or they're world class athletes coming into boxing. Like you see guys transition from football or, everyone will say Sergio Martinez didn't start until he was in his 20s, but he was like a cyclist. Right, what I mean? So like they're world class athletes already. Yeah.
Or wrestlers or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the case is. So I picked it up a little bit late.
When you got into it, did you get into it because you wanted to be a boxer, or you're just getting it strictly for the exercise?
Oh, I wanted to be a boxer for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to be a boxer. It wasn't just for the exercise. And back then, I thought I could be good at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I thought, I'm 20, and by the time I'm 30, I could be dope at this. In
my prime.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be badass. I don't know that I ever had the work ethic. Now that I interview boxers all the time, it's something different. What these cats do and the amount of work that I put into it are not the same. Yeah. I was decent. I lost as much as I won, probably. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give or take.
So you did have some amateur fights?
No amateur fights. I did a lot of sparring. I did, some almost like the old school sort of gym showdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go and do the gym challenge.
Rep your gym.
Yeah, exactly. People come in to rep their gym, or we go cameras, somewhere else.
No cameras.
So it's sparring, but it means more. It's sparring, but means
sparring
more.
With pride.
Some pride, some pride is on the line about it. So I never ended up participating in amateur contests. And then, I fell out of it. I had a daughter, which is, the highlight of my life by far. But then I stopped training for a period of, 4 years, maybe something like that. And then got back into it, much later, like, November 2 years ago, something like that. Got back into training again. So
nice.
And then dropped it again because the podcast takes too much time.
It does. It does. I mean, because you're the one man show. Right? Do you produce a show? Do you gotta call? You're hard calling, making
Yeah,
calls.
it's good. I mean, I do have
guests.
I do have some help. There are two guys who are especially helpful with the show. So obviously, Coach, it's his gym.
Right. Yeah.
And he's been on more episodes than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And he, in the early going, was the one who was doing all the booking.
Yeah.
I mean, I was new to the scene in that respect, and I didn't know any of the people I knew now, and wasn't a regular at shows. From a media presence standpoint, you know, I was a fan. I went to shows all the time, right? But now, you know, I'm a little bit more well networked and can make some of those connections or calls myself.
Yeah.
But back then, I would not have been able to. So Coach definitely hooked up a bunch of that stuff early on. And then somewhere around, like, I want to say episode 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
My other partner, Anthony Saldana, who is the lead writer for Supreme Boxing. I don't know how they met. I think they just met at like an amateur show, and they literally brought him on the next day.
Him and Coach?
Yeah. So Coach brought him on the next day. And now, you know, I work with him a lot too. So he'll act as co-host sometimes, and occasionally he'll bring on people and say like, hey, I've got some people that we want to bring on. But I do all the setup for the show, all the editing for the show. Yeah. It's a little bit different. Like you guys have a setup. I was saying before, you know, I'm setting things up and breaking it down every show.
Yeah,
it's like a mobile.
He's got like a pop-up shop. You know,
yeah,
so set it up every time.
We go into the gym. It takes me 90 minutes, 2 hours to set everything up, and then you do the show, and then you break it down another 90 minutes. You haul that shit home. You know what I mean? So I do that. Of course, my lovely family supports me. They help me set things up and all that different stuff. But yeah, I post on YouTube. I do the editing, graphics, the Instagram, the Facebook, which I'm still not very good at. I'm learning all that stuff.
Right.
But
social media.
Yeah, social media. But yeah, that's all me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did the media part come in? Was it from podcasting?
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, 100% from podcasting.
So now you got the media badge, and you got
sometimes.
That's
like
dope.
I mean, I'm not you know, getting into Canelo Jacobs or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I can get into some fights. Not yet. But you know, I think it's just a combination of having had the right guest and meeting some very, you know, really pleasant people in the industry. It's actually a relatively small community, boxing. Yeah. Like, you know, once you get into it, I've only been into it for like a year. You kind of, you know, you realize it's a tight knit group, and everybody knows everybody else. Yeah, it's kind of weird, actually.
You know, I noticed that was when I went to go watch. We had Anthony Garcia here, Iconic Boxing.
Yeah.
So
shout out Iconic.
Shout out, yeah. He invited me to a show, Michael's. That's where I met Michael, right? So
okay, yeah.
I went out to a show in Ontario.
Thompson, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were probably there.
Probably, maybe. I might have even seen you, dude. We probably crossed paths.
Yeah.
But that's when I noticed that what you're just talking about.
Yeah.
That boxers, you know, you hear about it outside. There's a whole bunch of boxers, but that community seems so tight. Like, you know, like you said, everybody knows each other. Yeah. Even Mr. Cutman, the homicide dude, right?
Yeah, all those dudes. Cutman Mike, man.
Yeah, Cutman Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Mike Rodriguez?
Yeah. Okay. Cutman Mike.
So I mean, everybody just knows each other, and it's like, you know, with just a wave and like something like I would say to my cousin, like, "Hey, what's up?" Passing by, and that's it. You know, but that's just how it is. That's that feeling that you get. You know, when you walk into the back room, and it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's kind of tight. It's a small community. So I think Thompson was they were the first people to actually let me in on a press pass. Yeah,
that's dope.
So Anthony kind of hooked that up. He hooked me up with their marketing guy. Yeah, and put in a good word for me, and then from there it just kind of went into bigger events. Yeah. You know, some recently the Gervonta Davis fight here that was at the formerly known as StubHub Center, the Dignity Health Sports Park. Yeah. You know, Danny Garcia just fought there and those types of fights. So yeah. That fight with John Molina we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah. That kind of stuff.
How was your experience? I mean, it's a stupid question, but going to an event that's outdoors like that, and you get, you know, did you think there was a disadvantage for some of these boxers with the sun being in their eyes and all that? I mean, they're not looking up, but it's still somewhat of a glare.
I think not so much in that respect, because they do have, most of them have the awning, you know what I mean, to cover the ring and stuff. The one thing that I was tripping on, though, is that Sean Porter fight versus Yordenis Ugas that was like very recently at StubHub Center. It was freezing, brother. Like I was cold. I was so cold. I went into the gift shop for the soccer team which I never watched the Galaxy in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never even seen a soccer game. It's not because I, no disrespect. I just
That's not your thing.
have not seen one. Yeah, it's not my thing. And I'm like, dude, where's the Galaxy hoodies and beanies and stuff?
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't have hooded sweatshirts, but we've like got, scarves and beanies. And I'm like about to pay $80 to get like a Galaxy
Stay
beanie.
warm.
Yeah.
I was so cold.
Yeah.
So these cats being out there, and I know people, if anyone's listening to this and they're on the East Coast, they probably think I'm silly, dog.
That, dude. Like, they're probably laughing at us right now. Like,
They're
look at these guys,
laughing
dude.
Yeah.
Because to me it was like 40 degrees or something.
Yeah.
It's freezing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's, I'm from Los Angeles. That's, what do they say? Menace to society. Let the Europeans deal with that madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, to me that's cold, and I don't know how that doesn't impact the guys in the
It's
ring.
got to be the adrenaline.
Maybe.
It's got to be the adrenaline.
Yeah, it's gotta
Maybe.
be,
You know?
for sure.
But even afterwards, like Sean Porter was like, I don't think I would want to do this again.
Yeah.
Not out here like this. It's
Yeah.
too cold. Like they were putting a blanket on him between rounds.
Oh,
You know,
shit, that's
like
crazy.
they fashioned him this weird blanket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis was doing commentary ringside, had a blanket on the whole time. Like,
And
I don't know
he
how
had
they
his
do
gloves on. I remember his scarf.
that. Yeah, exactly. Had the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
That's insane. That's crazy. No, so another thing with you had mentioned Anthony. I just want to, you give a shout out, but I really want to touch on this real quick. Anthony Garcia.
Iconic.
Yeah, iconic. He goes out of his way to help people out.
He's a cool dude.
He's
man.
a great dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed
The
that.
little that we know him, right? He just goes. I noticed that he just goes out of the way to help people out. Like he stretched out his arm, for us and helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
And when you said that right now, I just thought about it. I was like, God, how come I never put it out there? Like.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that about him a lot, just on Instagram and with our followers. He'll give them a follow. I see that.
Yeah,
I
right.
see that on pretty much everyone we follow. Like he's following them. It's that networking. But yeah, you're right. He does.
Yeah.
He does go
I
out
don't
of his
know.
way.
I
And
just
that's a
wanted
good. That's a good
side
thing.
note. Side note.
Shout
on
out.
that one.
Definitely.
Shout out.
Shout out to Iconic, man.
Yeah. So what's the end game? Is there an end game, or have you
What's
thought of
funny? No. Everybody asks me that, and I don't really have one.
Yeah.
Like I don't really hope to be famous or anything like that. You know what I mean?
that? Is this supplementing your income, your podcast?
No.
Oh, okay.
I lose money on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but
Yeah.
I straight
Same
up
here.
lose money. Like,
Yeah.
and that's one thing everyone should be aware of. I spend money to do my show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot. When you think about it, I mean, I'm paying, and I'm sure you guys are too, but the hosting fees in order to host the audio, I'm paying the, I can't even think of everything for all the equipment.
There's a lot that goes.
Yeah,
into it.
like all the equipment, all the mics, the mixer, all the cords, the hubs that I need in order to do it,
Yeah.
extra monitors, the TV that we use for the show, like all that stuff I bought.
Yeah.
And I don't make a penny off of it.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are saying like, hey, what about the YouTube stuff? The YouTube stuff is monetized, but I don't make money off of it. It's not my YouTube channel.
No,
So the deal is I post the show to the Sweet Science Gym YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's their YouTube channel. And the content's monetized. I'm happy to do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't get paid off that. So I don't make a dime off the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the contrary, I pay money just so I
Right.
could talk to people.
And that's always the that's funny how you pay money to talk to people.
Yeah, I do.
But it's the first thing is everybody asks is how much you getting paid for this? Like
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
podcasting, right? How much you making? And I'm like, nothing.
Not a
single
you know what I
thing.
get all the time?
Yeah.
People are always like, hey, I want to talk to you because I want to start a podcast. Do you guys get that a lot?
No, but we suggested it many times.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I always like,
yeah.
you know what, dude, you got to start a podcast. you know?
Everybody will always be like, hey, I want to talk to you. I
Yeah.
want to start a podcast. And they'll ask me what I think. And every time it boils down to, are we talking about something that you could talk about for hours for free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Can you do it? Would you for free just sit there and talk about it for hours? Because I talk about boxing forever. Like if you
Yeah.
guys want to talk about boxing, we could be here for the next 2.5 if you want. Like
Probably,
it's
right.
no thing to me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why the show works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why the
true.
show works. Yeah.
100%.
So like if you couldn't talk about it at least one time a week for multiple hours for free, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's kind of how I feel.
If this was a sports podcast, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But we mix it up,
Yeah.
and it's not always about sports. It's like we tell people it's local businesses and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's everything. You
it's
guys
a-
got a good mix.
It's a conversation like that. We just like to have to your point, what's my your passion is boxing, right? So what's my passion? I'm not sure if I have a specific passion, but I do like to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I like to ask a lot of questions. I'm nosy.
Sure.
You know, maybe that's what it is. I'm nosy, right? But it stays here, and for all the viewers.
Yeah, for all the viewers, it stays on YouTube forever.
I guess that's my passion. You know.
Yeah.
Is talking to people or asking questions and then learning about them. You know.
Yeah.
Because you know, for example, like with you, like we've known you from, you know, Beat the Count. It's out there. What's up? I listen to you. I don't watch. I listen. This guy watches podcasts all the time. I don't do it. And I was like, dude, we got to get him on the show. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's like, you know, I got Sean here. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know? They say never meet your heroes. I'm not disappointed yet.
Oh, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
My big brothers.
Yeah, that's funny you said that. I get that a lot. I get like oh, you're a YouTuber. No, we're not YouTubers.
No,
it's just that's a platform that we use so people could see that.
I will never. I don't think I could ever say I'm a YouTuber.
Nah.
No. In fact, like I've thought about making YouTube a secondary thing because I actually think you get more traffic from Facebook. YouTube's about to kick me off because I said that right now. Man. No. I messed up. But like what happens, I think, from the shares and the views and stuff that you get on Facebook when you're actually live, because I'm going live as I do the show most times, I actually feel like I would get more eyes on Facebook than I would on YouTube.
Yeah. Probably because everybody's on Facebook. It's easier access. It's there. They're in, they're out. Some of them stay there for longer than others, but I agree with it. There's a lot of people that do a lot of Facebook lives. Plus
the share thing, like
that's all. That's all it is. It's just a lot easier, and then it stays there, right? Again, I'm not that familiar with it either. Does it stay there? Does it archive and stay there forever?
It stays there.
What on YouTube?
On Facebook?
On Facebook.
On Facebook, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know either, but.
See, that's one of those things. Remember I was saying earlier, like I'll try new things and mess stuff up. Yeah. That's one of those things. One of these days I'm going to be like, I'm going to try this on Facebook and totally mess up an episode. I guarantee it.
No, once you get this kind of hookup, you're fine because you get pro audio and then you got the video right there.
Yeah, you were talking about trial and error. The pro audio that we talked about, we just learned that. I mean, not to throw that out there, but we just learned how to get it on Instagram Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And trial and error, more error than trial. Yesterday we went live and we're talking like these are hot and we forgot to turn it on.
Yeah. The good thing it's just alive.
I'm not joking. I totally understand. You were I made a joke when you guys were doing the live thing the other weekend. On Instagram Live, and I was checking that out. There's a point in time where you grabbed the mic and it came off. And I said I've done that a dozen times.
That's right.
I have done that during the show so many times. I've switched these brackets out 15 times. Yeah. And me, especially because I'm taking them on and off all the time. Yeah. They're not just sitting there.
Right.
Man, I've pulled the mic straight off.
That's funny.
Like in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
If you guys ever see my setup, I made my own mic stands because I was so tired of pulling mics off and like having them not tighten properly and all.
Yeah. I've never been. Can you see that when you're watching the video?
What's that?
That you rigged it? Can you see that or no? Does it come off on the video?
Not anymore. Not with the ones I made now.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
Yeah. That's cool. How, are you ever nervous when you go live? Like, do you or is it just normal now after 55 episodes?
You know what's funny? It's normal. Yeah. Like, I don't get very nervous when I go live, and I'm not sure that there's many fighters that can make me nervous anymore. Yeah. You know, we've had some people on I've been very fortunate and had a lot of fighters who, you know, are in good positions now or in the past. I recently, you know, Danny Roman, who just unified the super bantamweight title in a terrific fight at the Forum. So he's basically holds 2 title belts in his division, which is a big deal. He was on the show, the same show Jesse Vargas was on. I mean, Jesse Vargas has fought Manny Pacquiao and all Timothy Bradley and Josecito Lopez. Like he's fought all these. He has a great resume. He's a 2-division world champion. So I've been really fortunate to get to meet some really interesting people, and some of them are, you know, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, you know, like I'm not even sure what you're doing. Yeah. You just came to a gym in the middle of Hawthorne on a Sunday, sacrificed 2 hours. Yeah, like to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like that seems crazy to me. So I'm very appreciative that they do it, but I don't get too nervous anymore. You know what made me nervous though?
What's that?
So I had a girl on who is trying to go to the Olympics, Right Hook Roxy. I gave her a shout out
Roxy,
earlier because
yeah.
she shot me how to.
Yeah, I
She
heard
told me
that
how
one.
to do the Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you heard that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so for some reason I found out that her uncle is this guy Benny Urquidez. Do you know who that is?
No.
Why does
Okay.
Urquidez sound so
Okay,
familiar?
so he's like the father of modern kickboxing in the United States, and he had this fantastic kickboxing career, and then started to make movies. And I'm like, I like the cheesy action movies. You know what I mean? I like the blood sports. I like the, you know what I mean? Like I dig that stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I love those. Yeah.
You know those? Yeah. So like all the, Commando and all that stuff. I dig that stuff.
No retreat, no surrender.
You got it.
You heard that
You got
shit?
it, right? Yeah, hell yeah. So like I love that stuff. Anyways, so this cat ended up getting an acting career where he normally played like the muscle, the villain.
Yeah.
Right? Like he would be the guy who you have to get through to get to the main dude.
Yeah.
And he has these amazing fight scenes with Jackie Chan in 2 different movies where you're like, you could just Google like Jackie Chan, Benny Urquidez. He has these fantastic fight scenes. And they told me that, that's her uncle.
Yeah.
Right? And I started to geek out a little bit,
Yeah.
which in a way that I don't do for fighters or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that. I was like, what? Like I was blown away. And so at the end of the show, they called him, and she walks over to me and was like,
Yeah.
and hands me the phone
Yeah.
and was like, it's Benny. Right. And I was like, what? And I had, dude, I was so embarrassed. I embarrassed myself. Yeah. I totally embarrassed myself. I didn't know what to say to him.
Right.
You know what I
Like, what
mean?
you
I
say
had no
to
idea
him.
to say to him. But like, yeah, so that was nervous
Like,
making.
I think you should have won that fight against Jackie Chan. What did he say?
I know, what did he say?
But that is cool because you're
that
so
was
into
nervous
it. Like you
making.
said, you're so into it. So like you said, Benny. So I'm like, it sounds familiar, but no, it doesn't ring a bell. I would have never have thought that. But then you know the person. So
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you geeked out over any of our guests?
Over any of our guests?
Yeah, or just felt nervous?
Nah.
No, I did. This guy right here.
Me?
Right
No.
now, look at my hand.
No way, man.
No, did I felt nervous? No. You know who? No. Oh yeah, John Molina.
John Molina.
Yeah,
oh,
you know
was
what?
it.
John Molina. Yeah, because I've followed John for a long time, right? So I went to school with his sister.
Okay.
All right, we went to the same high school. Why they went to different high schools, I don't know, but they went to different high schools. So I always knew his sister. Never knew that she had her younger brother because again, they went to just separate high schools, and I didn't know her that well. So when my buddy Matt told me, he's like, "Dude, you know Jenna Molina, right? You went to school with her." Yeah, I know Jenna. She had a baby brother that boxes pro. And I'm like, "Oh, what? I didn't know that." So it was like 5, maybe 6 years ago, he introduced me to John Molina as far as who the person is. Check out some of these fights.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's he could scrap, dude. Just like you said right now, you know, like this guy is an exciting fighter. Very entertaining, you know. He just goes out there and puts it all on the line. And then when I heard, he's still in Covina and he reps it all the time, I'm like, and then when fighting out of Covina, California, I'm like, dude, we gotta get this guy on the show.
Yeah.
And when he finally came on, I was like, oh shit, it's John Molina.
John Molina, he's here.
Yeah, he's here.
He punched my bag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He goes, yeah, it looks brand new. You'll never use it.
Yeah.
Put you on blast.
But put me on blast. But
That's funny.
I think if anything, yeah.
John? Yeah,
Which
that's
is
cool.
weird because he's like so cool, down to earth.
Yeah.
But like you said, like for you, like Jesse Vargas, like for me, if he was to come on too, I'm like, whoa, this guy's here.
Yeah.
But then like you probably say he's just a normal cool
Nah,
cat,
man.
right?
Yeah, they're all cool. Like there has been very few people I've come across where I was like, I don't know if I'd want to interview you again type of thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, very few people.
Mhm.
Like I think most of the people I've come across have been perfectly pleasant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's cool.
Some people careful about what they're gonna say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't want to say the wrong thing or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Because it's like we don't have a script and I'm not really doing an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, conversation.
It's like this.
Conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like this. Like I'm not sitting. I don't have a list of questions
No
written down
format,
for.
really.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
no, I don't have a list of questions written down for anybody who comes on.
You don't have
know?
any wacky games you play at the end. Just kidding.
That's how we did. We did have a list.
Oh yeah.
Of what?
Kinda just things to ask or talk about.
Yeah, well, there's certain people that want to come and
Yeah.
promote something,
Yeah,
so we have
yeah,
to
yeah.
take notes and
Oh, yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that
Yeah,
we
for
we
sure.
touch on those topics.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do my homework for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's been fighters on who I haven't been especially familiar with before they came on, and I go and look up their records and start looking at
Right.
their opponents. I watch
Yeah.
everything I can on YouTube, so I do my homework. But like in terms of what the conversation is about, it just kind of happens to be about whatever transpires as
Yeah.
for like going on with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
what about you? Anybody?
Chris Casamassa.
Oh yeah.
So this guy,
Red Dragon.
So he's my son's Shihan in karate.
Okay.
And I see him at the gym. Hey, Chris, how's it going? You know, good. Levi's doing good. He was Scorpion in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, what? I remember that episode. Actually,
I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. You know,
Yeah.
Like
Who didn't? Yeah,
who didn't? Right?
Yeah.
The movies, the game, like, and then he was here, and I was like, dude, this guy's a Scorpion. You know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And knowing him, he's very he's always just very professional. So
Yeah.
that specific episode was it felt very professional. Not that this isn't professional here, but it just felt very uniform. Yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, dang, we just interviewed.
Yeah, it's a little like nervous, right? You felt a little nervous, like what?
I totally did.
I don't want to fuck up and say anything bad.
I totally did, man. I'm like, and then this is my son's, Shihan and stuff that. But that was a cool one for me.
Yeah. I did think I thought Jesse Vargas was gonna beat me up for a minute.
Really?
For a minute. So I was asking him about a fight.
Have you had him twice on? Or
no, just once.
Okay.
I had him on the one time, and I was asking him about a fight where he fought to a draw.
Yeah.
And I think he misunderstood where I was going with the question. I was leading into a question, and I got about halfway there, and the impression I got was that he thought I was saying that I thought it was a draw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for a minute I was like, he interrupted me and was like, wait a minute, let's set the record straight here.
Yeah. Did you have
wait.
was Saldana in that one?
Yeah, he was on that.
Okay, because he gives you a lot of shit, right? So
yeah, he does.
So I think I remember that one when he was like,
I give him a lot too.
Yeah.
Saldana's coach?
No, that's
he's the boxing writer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a boxing writer.
Okay.
I give him a lot of shit too, though.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that combo. It's funny when they go back and forth in each other. That's cool.
Funny.
Talk about someone who can't get people's names right. Oh my God,
he butchers everything.
Oh, everybody's name.
Oh, man.
Butchers everybody's name. I give him a hard time about it on every show.
Yeah,
you're good there.
We should have a conversation. Nobody will know what we're talking about.
Or you just this guy's always just like throwing out names, or he always says, just speak when you say it, just say it with confidence. People
you know what? That's the truth. I tell my kid all the time. I go, look, man, just and he does it to my wife all the time. He goes, yeah, of course, that's what it is, Mom. And she's like, what? And then she starts thinking like, maybe it is. No, it's not. I'm the one,
Yeah.
But because he says it with
such conviction.
Yes, the way that you say
so
it.
convincing.
Yeah. And that's with anything,
That's crazy that you felt that. And then he kind of stopped it. We've never experienced it where like, well, at least I haven't, where I felt like I made a guest uncomfortable where they had to speak out. And protect themselves, or
I clarified after. I was like, I wasn't going there, brother. I wasn't going there.
I would get so embarrassed.
If you've seen Jesse fight, that's probably why he was quick to clarify.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going there.
That's funny,
dude. I could have sworn that I read something or heard something about you that somehow you made some kind of statement, or I could be wrong. It could be someone else that you said boxing saved your life.
Yeah, I said something to the effect. Yeah, it was actually it was probably around Thanksgiving of last year, and I put up a post. So, trying to think of a way to cleverly word this.
Yeah.
So I was not last year, but we started this in February 2018.
Mm-hmm.
A few months before that, I was in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I was struggling with anxiety. I was battling with depression, and was really on the border of being a functioning human being.
Yeah.
And it, it started to take a toll, I guess, on my family,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of said to me, like, they're very supportive, very loving family, and they said to me, "Do what you got to do, but let's figure it out." You know what I mean? So like, whatever you got to do, we'll support it. But we got to figure out how to get you out of the way that you're in right now. And I am fortunate that I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are very supportive, colleagues at work, my family, the doctors, and things that helped me through that experience. But So I had to take some time off.
Mhm.
I took 3 months, kind of a sabbatical away from work, and I got all of the I tried to find all the best people I could find to help me through it.
Surround yourself with good people.
Yeah. So like I had my personal physician who helped me. I found a therapist who helped me through that. And I wasn't even sure about any of that stuff, to be honest. Like, the whole sort of like therapy type thing. But I knew that I was committed to doing whatever I had to do. That's that's all it was. It was kind of, I was in a way where I said, I'll try anything. Yeah. Whatever it is, if you want me to, to meditate, if you want me, like whatever you want me to do, I'll try it if it's going to help. Right. Because I just needed the help, And it took several months, and in that time, one of the things that I was told by my physician was that there's some things I needed to change. I need to change my diet, because apparently that can impact in some way the way that you feel, I guess. He also said it's a good idea to exercise, so to basically work out some of the tension. Yeah, and I'm not an exerciser. I never have been. The only time that I can remember ever really getting real work was in a boxing gym. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. So I went back to the only thing I knew at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Like I went back and said, I'd like to get back in the gym, to my coach. Like, I've been out for a really long time, but I'd like to get back in the gym. And I didn't share any of that stuff with them. So they didn't know what I was going through. Yeah. But they were very like, like, let's do it. Let's get back in. Let's get back to training. Yeah. And they were training me every day, every morning. Nice. Yeah. And a lot of good things happened. I lost like 25 pounds in a really stupid way. I can go into that later, but I ended up losing a lot of weight, gaining some of my confidence and things like that back. I had a lot of really truly supportive people around me. Some good doctors who taught me coping skills, basically. That's what they taught me. They just taught me how to deal with stress. Yeah. That's all it was. Yeah. And this was all before the show. And the show kind of became a product of a way to occupy my time. You know what I mean? Like a way to focus energy in a place that wasn't negative. Yeah.
For sure.
And to do something that I, like you said, I'm passionate about. Right. And the funny thing is like, as far back as high school, when they make you do the project, like, what are you going to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you graduate? When I did that project, I said I want to be a sportscaster. I wanted to be like Chick Hearn. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's cool. Like that's what I wanted to be. Yeah. I was like playing DVDs of Lakers championship games and stuff like that. Like this is what I want to do. Not play basketball, but I want to talk about it, know. And so the show kind of took off, and it gave me, I got to, later that year, I even got to do some ring announcing at All Star. Yeah. I met a group of guys who also do a podcast, Against the Ropes podcast. Oh yeah. And they invited me to the table, and I got to call 2 fights from the table. Yeah. And it was like one of these things, like, I'm in a place now where I'm like, this is what I talked about as a child. Yeah. And it's only happening just because I wanted to. Like, there's no, like, we just make it happen. Yeah. Like you guys, you just make it happen. This happens because you wanted to. Yeah. There's no other reason, right? Like, and so the show kind of became therapeutic in a way. Yeah. And the name, which it took us a while to land on a name or agree on a name, but the name kind of has more meaning to me, Yeah. Like, Beat the Count is really about the fact that, like, you could be at low points, you could experience, you could be down, right? But I'm not ready to be counted out. I have a tremendous amount of that's actually not the right way to say it. I was actually explaining this to someone recently. I'm not self-confident, but I'm so confident in the people I've surrounded myself with that they'll do whatever they can to support me, to uplift me, to put me in a better position, that I'm so confident in those individuals that I believe, I can do better things. Yeah. I believe I can be better. And it's one of those things where I got healthy. I learned how to cope with stress.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of different techniques. Some of them worked, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
I tried some things that worked. I tried some things that didn't work.
Yeah.
Some of them I still do. You know what I mean? Some of them I don't. This is the first time I've really ever talked about it openly. I did post that one post on Instagram around Thanksgiving, just to let the people who come on my show know that like they helped me fulfill what's essentially like a childhood dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a dream of mine from the time I was a kid. And they helped me do that. And if I stop now, I'll always be able to say I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, in a way, I guess you could say it saved me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
or at
cool.
least the people did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's cool.
no, thanks for sharing that. That's that's very important. No, seriously, it's very important to know that, you know, we're out there, we're working, we're doing our 9 to 5 that we have to do, put food on the table, pay the house, you know, you're grinding, dude, but you get asked that question, are you happy though? You know, like, are you happy? Sometimes you have to just throw everything away and just stop and then do what's best for you. Of course, you have to have a strong support system behind you.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have that. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But definitely go out there and do what you want to do, even if it's just a hobby. Like, for example, right now, like, I can't quit my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm going to do this. This is a hobby of mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what makes me happy. My wife understands it. She supports me 100%. And I'm thankful for that she allows me to do it, you know?
Yeah, for
because,
sure.
you know, not
Definitely.
that she, you know, tells me what to do or anything, but
I never been nervous until right now, actually.
Oh, really?
That question got me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
But you know what?
I was a little bit on
Go
there.
ahead.
I think it's awesome to see that come full circle though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From when you were a kid to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that nervous feeling.
Yeah. That one made me nervous.
What I was gonna ask you is, did you ever sit aside with your coaches and stuff and tell them that?
No.
Oh wow.
I mean, I think they saw the Instagram
your
post.
post.
Yeah. It went on Instagram and Facebook, and I never actually thanked them, you know,
Yeah.
or probably I never probably said thank you to anyone except my family, and that's, you know, thinking about it now, that's probably not the best way. Like I wish I should do that. Like I feel like I should go and I should tell them thank you, but
Yeah.
I don't even think they understand how much they were helping me
Right.
through that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They didn't know what it meant to me.
Yeah.
And maybe they still don't. So I feel like I owe them something in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Maybe now they know.
Now they
Yeah.
know.
They just have to listen to how we talk.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's very good that you did that you acknowledged it and you were able to seek out that help, because there's so many people that are unfortunate enough not to do it.
Yeah, my family really drove me to do it, and I mean, it can be done. The one thing I'll say is I definitely committed to it. I mean, I was willing to try anything.
Yeah.
Like, it was like whatever they told me, and some things you might be like, yeah, that's silly. Like, that's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't in a position where I think I could turn away anything that could actually help. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, whatever it is, I'll do it.
Yeah,
you know, just tell me and I'll do it.
That's
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's
But-
That
crazy.
is crazy.
I sort of sensed nervousness in when you were talking, but that's a good thing, dude. Nerves are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
well, I mean, it took me a year to even, like, that post came out about a year after I started to seek treatment for that stuff. So to even say anything to my like, my immediate family helped me through it, but my extended family, like my parents and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I didn't really get into all that stuff. So that was the first time I posted. Like, I still don't know if, my mom knows or something.
Yeah.
Like, I still don't know unless she read the Facebook post.
A lot of people double tap just to double tap, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know if they know or
Yeah.
don't know or whatever.
Well, the good thing is that it's important to know that this is a good story. It's a happy
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
It's not.
There's
you
a
know,
happy ending
yeah,
to
there's
It
definitely-
worked out for me.
Yeah. No, man. Hey, dude, keep doing your thing, man. I think you're doing great things. Don't stop. You said if you stop now that you'd be okay, but don't stop.
No.
Man. Don't stop. Keep doing
You
it.
guys never think about calling it?
I do constantly.
Exactly, right?
All the
I think
time.
about it all the
It's just a
time.
lot of work. You're so busy, but it's fun, you know. Like like I said, I'm gonna keep doing it till the wheels fall off, probably, you know. So yeah, we'll see. But
I would say every 3 weeks, I'm like, fuck it, this is my last one. I'm never doing this again.
And
I don't know if you feel the same way.
We should actually sit down and talk about this because we're coming up on our year, you know?
Yeah.
We're coming up on a year, so it's like,
dude, you guys are serious, bro.
Yeah.
You have like an annual business meeting? Like,
that's what it's gonna be.
No, well, because think about it. Our first meeting, we have it recorded.
Yeah,
so
we have it recorded.
Our next meeting, we're gonna definitely have to record, but it's gonna be another meeting. We have to sit down and talk about this because we're coming down to that deadline where we have to make a decision if we're gonna renew or not. Go another year.
Because also, again, the finances behind it, you know, you're paying for the host and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
you pay for the whole thing.
That's what we got to sit down and talk about for sure. But
not only that, it's like when you're it's a business meeting, you got to talk the growth because you know this is where it's at now. But you know when you do something as a hobby, I mean that's my mindset is like let's go bigger.
Yeah,
you know, like it's.
I'm thinking about it all the time.
Yeah, of course you have to.
I tried to get into multi-camera support.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I did an episode where I had 2 cameras running with the goal of going to 3 cameras. Yeah. And I was actually switching live, right? So while we were on live.
While you're doing the...
Yeah. Dang. So like while the guest was speaking, I would use the camera that just focused on them. And then I'd cut back to like the full wide shot.
And you'd be cutting in?
I was doing it. Yeah, live. And I would still be doing it. It just... it's always been like for some reason, a goal of mine is to have multiple cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It probably sounds crazy, but I want 3 cameras. I want one going this way, one going that way, and one in the middle.
We've talked about it many times too, man. I mean,
have you really?
There's cameras. There's are there cameras or mics that are set up where there's sensors. So if you're talking, that camera goes here, right? And then, but those are like we're talking thousands
exactly
of dollars,
right. So I can't afford that shit. Right. So I'm trying to figure out how to make this work with like $60 webcams and shit. Yeah. And I got it to work, but like it really messed with the stream. Like I think like you know what I mean? Like the quality of that one was like, it would slow down and kind of really lag. And I was like, shit, I got to figure out how to fix this. Yeah. That's the thing is I don't really know how to do any of this stuff.
It's learning on the go, man. Learning on the fly.
I didn't know anything about YouTube before I started this, you know, none of that stuff.
And you've been live since the very first episode, right?
Since the very first episode. In fact, almost all the episodes have been live except these last 2. You remember when I was saying like sometimes things result in a setback? Yeah. I haven't figured out what's setting me back yet in terms of this technical difficulty, but I think I've landed on this new camera that I've been using, and I think it's like, not to get too technical, but like trying to transfer a bit rate too high for YouTube to do.
It's probably that.
Yeah, so like so the last 2 ones I've had to record them and post them after the fact. Yeah. Because I've been messing with this, trying to get this multi-camera thing to work out.
Yeah. Like us, we want to do YouTube live, but we're restricted to that right now.
Yeah.
You know, and mobile, you can't go live. Yeah. You have to have I think it was like 1,000 followers or something like that.
Oh, really?
To do it mobile.
Mobile,
yeah. How long have you guys been doing the YouTube thing?
Since we started.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Yeah,
okay.
So we're coming up on a year.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get to like... basically, there's a ton of followers on the channel, but if I'm completely honest, it has nothing to do with me.
Why do you say that?
Because
most of the videos are yours.
They are, but most of the followers don't come from those videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I like to be totally fair, like the videos that got there's something like 18,000 followers on that channel.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Is a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I cannot take credit for any of that. Yeah. That's because Coach every now and again will like throw together a tutorial video of him teaching you how to box.
Okay.
You know, put it on YouTube, and that just gets all the followers. It has nothing to do with me.
The good thing with YouTube is once they subscribe, nobody actually takes the time to unsubscribe. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not like Instagram.
No, Instagram. It just takes too much longer. You forget, and you know. So the trick is to get them to subscribe.
You know, but like I feel like what's tough though is because you guys, I assume that everybody who follows your channel is a fan, right? Like I follow your channel because I watch your show, right? Like I think it's cool. Everyone who follows your channel is a fan.
Assumption. That's strong. Assumption.
Now, but what happens is like in my predicament here. There's 18,000 people, and most of them follow the channel because they want to get some boxing tutorials, right? Yeah. So when they see my show come on, they're like venomous. You know what I mean? They're they're straight up venomous. I have people say like terrible things to me.
Oh yeah. You read the comments?
Oh yeah, of course.
All of them?
I return fire, man. Yeah. Not in a mean way. I'm actually not mean to anyone. Like every comment I have,
you gotta have a rebuttal, right?
No matter what they say, every comment is thanks for the view. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate it. Thanks for the view every time.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times people will be like, that dude on the left is an idiot, or like, you know what I mean? Like, and it gets way more harsh than that. I've had people like, I won't get too vulgar on it, but I've had people say like and there are times where I'll engage with people and be like, man. No, yeah, people are savage. But there are times where I'll engage and be like, well, hold on, like explain, like which part of this did you not agree with? Yeah. Right. Like I want to understand, and we'll get back and forth. And normally by
I got him.
Yeah. If somebody's willing to exchange with me, normally by the end of it, it's like cordial. Yeah. They're like, cool, thanks for taking the comment. You know that like you can't win someone over though. Like if I engage and I'm like, wait a minute, you know, help me understand why you think this is so, and they don't say anything back, you're like, all right, these people are just,
those are trolls. Man.
Yeah, they're just being trolls.
They're trolls.
Yeah.
So when you respond, that's exactly what they do. I got him, dude. I got him. You know what I mean? And then a good one's gonna come back at you and see how long it goes.
When it's about boxing, I wanna know, man. Like if somebody's like, nah, that's stupid. I'm like, really? Let me get at me. Like why? Why is that stupid? Let me know. Yeah, let's talk about it.
It also helps you get a different perspective. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's true or not, but
you know.
And then going back to views on YouTube though, I think and this is like full disclosure right here, like I think our followers, our viewers, 40 on YouTube. Now our numbers on iTunes and Spotify are they're high. Our viewers, no, not subscribers. Our viewers,
the people who actually watch the
watch. Okay, yeah.
I think average about 40, 45.
That's because you need to hit the bell icon,
hit the notification bell,
like and
subscribe.
Your videos are pretty much average like 300 to 400 views.
Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But even 40, it's me personally never thought I'd be doing this, and people would want to listen. Yeah. If it's 5 people want to listen to me. Yeah. 40 people want to listen to me. Yeah. You know, it trips me out.
But the question is, how many of those 300, 400 people actually listen to me for 2 hours?
Yeah,
they listen to me for 2.5 minutes, and they're like, all right, I'm over this dude. I'm out.
This guy on the left.
Yeah, this guy on the left. Yeah. This guy in the hat doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, that's just it goes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is fun, but yeah, we definitely got to sit down and talk. Have our first annual business meeting.
You guys take the labels off the bottles and stuff. I never even thought to do that. You know, I'm like, dude, they're not trying to get pulled for any reason here.
Bro, I don't think Costco's gonna get upset, but you know, it's just that they look better. Thanks to Andres, he's the one that told me.
Yeah, also there's too many cups and bottles on
he's like, what's up with the 25 bottles, man? You guys all drink them all?
And then my sister's like, you drink really fast, and I do.
So I'll tell you guys something. When you watch my show, you'll notice that like me and Stax or whoever is just like the co-host, like me and Coach, we're drinking like Costco waters, and the guest always has a Fiji.
Never noticed that. Why don't watch? But
the guest always has a Fiji.
That's
every time, bro. I hooked them up. I hooked the guest up with the Fiji because they gotta feel special.
That's good.
Note to self: get Fiji waters.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh man,
dude, it's been fun.
Yeah, of course, man.
Hopefully, this is just one of many. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have some more.
Anytime you guys want to have me.
Yeah.
We don't say that to all our guests, but
no.
But thanks for your time, dude. Thanks for your time.
Of course.
Appreciate it, man. Keep doing the thing, dude. Don't stop.
Don't stop, dude. Don't stop.
It's great.
I think about stopping every week.
Oh, we do too, man. But I when I started this, I told my wife, man, maybe not.
A
year later.
To answer your question, because you asked me if I think about stopping, I don't. Prior to this, I was doing a vlog. I was recording.
Oh, okay,
I've always wanted to be in entertainment. I grew up going to acting school. Grew up acting in commercials and stuff like that, but I've always wanted to do this. So no, I don't think about stopping. I would do this by myself if I could.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know what I'd talk about, but I'd find it.
Yeah.
You know
I told him last week that it was I was like, this is my last show. I'm not doing another one.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And then I booked a guest for this this week. Like a week. Someone sent me a message on Instagram. I was like, can I come on? I was like, yeah. Sorry.
You're not going away, dude.
Don't stop.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I think I'm synced in.
Yeah.
Stuck in.
Awesome. Well,
I appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
That's all I got, dude.
That's it, man.
That's it. Cool.
Thanks a lot. This is Fitty.
I'm Izzy.
How We Talk Podcast
With Sean.
There
See
you
you
go.
later, guys.